Shabbat shalom, everyone. On the first day of Shavuos, I spoke on a painful truth that we need to acknowledge and accept as we move forward together as a people in an increasingly frightening and violent world. The painful truth that this world has a set of rules for victimhood, for earned and merited compassion and sympathy, for righteousness and humanness, and that we Jews are not included in those rules. We have different rules. We can be angry about that. We can be sad by that truth. But I'm not sure we can do much, if anything, to change that truth. Nor am I sure we actually should want to. But that's a sermon for a different time. But it was true before October 7th, and it is all the more so true now, that to be a Jew is to be other. To be a Jew is to be held to different standards, different expectations. To be a Jew is to trigger in the non-Jewish world a complex amalgamation of emotions and beliefs that are sui generis in the history of religious and ethnic identity and in peoplehood in general. To put that a bit more succinctly and perhaps a bit crassly, the non-Jewish world, in many ways, it's not everyone, but some parts of the non-Jewish world, don't care too much for us. And they certainly don't understand us. And that's not going to change anytime soon. Despite whatever excuse or apologetics we might offer about Jew hatred being linked to Zionism or to the actions of Israel or to Jewish entrepreneurial success, yada, 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 the why always changes, but the hate remains. But I don't want to focus on the haters this morning, because quite frankly, I think they get way more of our time and our attention than they deserve. Instead, I want to encourage us to take their example and see how we can learn from it internally. Because as much as I love us, and I do, I really, really love us, we are not immune. We too fall into the dangerous and detrimental pitfalls of othering and denigrating. And if this challenging moment for us as Jews contains any silver lining at all, it is this: that we have the opportunity right now to come closer as a united Jewish family than at any point in time in our recent history. You see, this morning is a Yom Tov. It's a holiday, it's a celebration, it is a day of gratitude and recognition. It's not in the Torah, and it's not in the Gemara, but it is a Yom Tov all the same. This morning is Pride. It's the first Shabbat in the month of June, when we in this country remember the incredible history of LGBTQ plus resilience, endurance, and courage in America, and offer the words of Shehechianu to name that getting to here, to this moment, did not come easy. It came with hate and violence, with blood and tears, with bigotry and dehumanization. It also came with defiance, with solidarity and hope, and with a relentless and unwavering fight to uphold the core values that we are all made in the divine image, that our differences make us stronger and better, and that love is the greatest blessing of existence and always, always worth fighting for. Those values, that fight, should feel pretty darn familiar to all of us. And the celebration of making it this far, of reflecting on a long and often painful journey that has made tremendous progress, that has shocked the world, that has never faltered, even at the most challenging of times, should also feel pretty darn familiar to all of us. But if we really want to acknowledge and celebrate this Yom Tov of pride, then we also need to understand a couple of very important things. First, that while these past 609 days have been indescribably painful, heartbreaking, and lonely for Jews around the world, it has been even more difficult for LGBTQ plus Jews. And this is important to understand, because for the great majority of queer Jews, the sanctuary of queer identity, community, support, acceptance, and affirmation exists and has always existed on the left. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the strongest rejection of Israel, of the right of the Jewish people to have self-determination, or for Jews to be in control of their destiny for the last 609 days has been on the left. Now, while it's easy to play politics here, to do so misses the point completely, and it misses the moment completely. Because the tragic part of this is not political finger pointing. The tragic part of this is that for many LGBTQ plus Jews, October 7th represents a day of two losses. The loss of so many Jewish brothers and sisters murdered on that horrible day, and also the loss of an ideological community and family that was a safe and affirming space for so long. That is very real. And there is profound loneliness, sadness, and grief that comes from that loss. That is the first thing that we must recognize. The second piece that we must confront, and this one is tough, guys, but it's important, is that we need to acknowledge that many LGBTQ plus Jews went seeking those other communities, those other families in the first place because they were not fully seen, welcomed, celebrated, or loved within their Jewish family. It's a hard thing to acknowledge and accept, but it's true. And we can talk about where we missed the mark, about when we fell short, and different ways and different times when we didn't show up the way that we should have. We can and we should talk about that as well. But this morning, we start by simply saying, sorry. Because we could have done better. And we can do better. And that last part is what I want us to focus on this morning, because right now, while there is so much pain, while there is so much uncertainty and fear and loss, there's also opportunity. Opportunity to take some of that brokenness and use it to build towards something better. To quote the Torah of our brother Leonard Cohen of blessed memory, ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. The cracks are there to serve a purpose. And if we choose to make the most of this opportunity, then we can build something beautiful with these cracks. We can put together our family in the way that it was meant to be, not tolerated or graciously included, but unified, celebrated, holding on to one another with love and hope for a new tomorrow. Because that is what this moment is all about. If we say Am Yisrael Chai, but there is an asterisk after Yisrael, then those words mean nothing. If we say Am Yisrael Chai, but mean only some of Am Yisrael, then those words mean nothing. But those words do mean something. They have to. Because otherwise they are like the words of them out there. Like the words of those who say, we believe in justice, except for justice for Jews. Or none of us are free until all of us are free, except for Jews. Or believe women, except Jewish women. You see, those slogans mean nothing. They mean nothing because they aren't true. But ours is. It should be. It has to be. And if it wasn't fully true before, then it starts now. Because we deserve to be the family that we were meant to be. We all deserve the unconditional love of our Jewish brothers and sisters, of our global mishpacha. We all deserve to be seen, to be heard, and be held, especially right now. My God, do we deserve to be held? We deserve this. Because this is everything. We have a couple of important things that we need to acknowledge. And we have some important and beautiful building to do. These cracks are here to let the light in. This moment is here to let the light in. While the world wrestles with hypocrisy and insincerity, let us take this Yom Tov and turn it into a family celebration. Let us take pride in pride. Let us connect to one another here, throughout our country, and throughout the world to recognize that we are not just in this together, we are in everything together. That is what family is. That is who we are. As we stand together, hand in hand, our heads held high, we've all come a long way. And though there are still miles to go before we sleep, lo avda tikvatenu, our hope isn't going anywhere. Our hope isn't going anywhere. Chag Sameach, happy Pride, Am Yisrael Chai.